Hello there, my very good friends, and a good afternoon to you all. On this video, we're going to talk about the backstage reaction to that Carlito line.
What did WWE think of The Undertaker and Donald Trump?
A missing WWE star might be returning soon.
And a top AEW star might be returning very soon.
Why is it that when we're doing the news, it's always the most messed up stories imaginable?
Wrestling!
I'm Andy.
And I'm Phil.
And this is the After News. Right, okay, so let's talk about Carlito.
Baby, let's talk about you and me.
Let's talk about all the things that we shouldn't say on TV. One of them is this. So this week's episode of Raw, we mentioned this yesterday a little bit, but there's been some reports on it. There was a backstage segment featuring Damage Control, Io Sky and Kairi Sane. They were hanging out. Adam Pearce was there. They walked out. Carlito walked in and said, "I gotta learn Chinese." Of course, Io Sky and Kairi Sane are Japanese professional wrestlers and indeed human beings. Remember, Io's had this before. "Go back to China," said a fan in the crowd. "I'm Japanese, bitch." Legendary line, cutting down the stupidity of man.
If only she ran back in and said that, it would have been incredible.
It would have been a good course correction, wouldn't it? Obviously, the illusions are pretty clear to most people, and the line was eventually cut out of every digital upload imaginable because a common sense kicked in, and they went, "Yeah, we shouldn't be putting that out there." But it didn't.
Then it's a bit too late.
Yeah, it's already been on TV, brothers and sisters. But
like hitting send on a tweet, masks. Forever.
And if you want to know about that one, check out this morning's news video. But Fightful Select noted that at least one staff member internally in WWE has said that the line wasn't scripted, and they had spoken to some people who are in disbelief about the situation. Apparently, a number of people in WWE weren't happy about how this happened, but they've not heard of any action or heat or anyone on the situation just yet. So when a line like this makes it to television, somebody in the process, someone, I don't know who, agent, producer, writer, Carlito himself, Triple H himself, somebody in the process should have gone, no, that's not, just get rid of that, delete that. That's going to cause a ruckus. If it was improvised or whatever, the performer obviously should have known better. I've seen the argument online that this was just done to make Carlito look stupid, right? He is confusing their nationalities, so he's a dumbass. And I could believe that. That might be true. That might have been the intent of the line. However, when the interpretation is that Carlito cannot tell the difference between Asian nationalities, that's just something that you should not put out there at all, regardless of what your intent is.
When that's your argument, you should immediately see the other side of the potential that this could say, and just go, no, it's not worth it. There's other ways of making someone look like an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it all boils down to whether the segment was live on air, in which case it's 100% Carlito's fault, because there's not a lot you can do once you've got a live mic and it's just going straight out there. Obviously, everything's on a bit of a delay, so if they thought about it, they probably could have cut it a bit.
Yeah.
But it would have been messy, and I could see why that would slip through the net in that moment. But if it was taped, then it's Triple H's fault. Because at the end of the day, he's the executive producer of the show. The buck stops at him. So it's definitely somebody's fault. And it definitely, obviously, shouldn't have made it to air, or they wouldn't have been deleting it from all of their playbacks and media uploads online and things like that. So it's just stupid. It's Attitude Era nonsense that doesn't need to be in 2024 wrestling.
No, absolutely. It's, clearly they've had a bit of reflection by deleting it from the uploaded clips and stuff. So clearly people within the company agree that this shouldn't be seen. It's irritating is not really the word. It's stupid that they made it to television, obviously, and a real numbskull move. And I think that you have to be look, even if you think this was just to make Carlito look stupid, you have to be capable of understanding why, especially Asian people, because they are the victims of such, what's the word I'm looking for, ignorance.
when you're literally doing it with Io Sky as well, like you said before, like that she has had this exact same thing that was pure ignorance, and like her reaction to that at the time, like you don't replay that. Like I don't understand how your minds can work and go, this is fine.
It reminds me of, honestly, like, and this was a more elaborate thing, but back in NXT a few years ago, they did a segment where Io Sky took Zoe Stark out for sushi.
Yeah.
And they scripted Zoe Stark to just be baffled by this concept of raw fish and rice. It was really absurd. Like, sushi isn't the most popular food in the world that everyone knows. She was looking at it like it was an alien product. It was so weird. Yeah, this was whack. Don't do it again. Simple.
Learn from your mistakes and move on. Speaking of moving on, we're going to move on to the next story, and it's about Donald Trump and The Undertaker. Yay!
It only gets normal.
What a day. So, this is coming from Fightful, and we've got a bit of an update about sort of WWE's reaction to The Undertaker having Donald Trump on as a guest on his podcast. And now it just says that they say that Donald Trump appearing on The Undertaker's podcast was something a lot of folks within WWE disagreed with, but no one within the company are upset over, and there are no issues with The Undertaker because of it. It's obviously not necessarily something that was cleared and done through WWE in terms of you alienating half your audience by doing this, which is a bit of a strange move, but no heat on The Undertaker for it. It's just two dumbasses speaking about dumb things, I'm afraid.
Yeah, the thing is, with this, right, of course there's not really going to be any great heat in WWE, because lest we forget, Linda McMahon contributed to, organizationally.
They have a long history with Donald Trump.
Yeah, they put him in the Hall of Fame, for goodness sake. Like, of course they're not pissed off. I think that a lot of people are surprised when stuff like this happens in wrestling, but statistically, I have no idea how accurate like pre-election polls are these days, because they kind of blew up a couple of years ago, but like, half of America will vote for that man, and another half will vote for Kamala Harris, and it looks like it's going to be a coin flip, result-wise, right? So statistically, you'd think at least half the people in that company probably like, right on, where the other half are like, hell no. It's just the divisiveness of politics in 2024. Us even mentioning it is going to get a degree of heat. It's just how it is. It's I mean, The Undertaker talking about how he's made it fun again, and it's like, don't take it so seriously. It's like, but you're kind of supposed to take politics seriously.
You don't want it to we want people to take it goddamn seriously, because they're goddamn serious issues.
I want my politicians to be boring as hell, man.
We had bloody Boris Johnson who's just as goddamn bad, making it fun and doing his stupid stunts.
Liz Truss and all these.
They're all useless. Man. I want boring politicians who do boring things because they're right.
They just sit at their desk and they've got no personality whatsoever. But yeah, I'm not surprised by this. Him and Batista are beefing and all this stuff, and it's kind of become this big carnival, and Hulk Hogan's involved somehow, because of course he is.
Speaking of racism.
Speaking of which. Anyway, that's enough of this Donald Trump Undertaker stuff. Let's talk about something more positive for a change. 2 more positive stories to wrap this weird ass day off. Shinsuke Nakamura might be back. That's good.
Hell yeah.
According to PW Insider, he's expected to be at the SmackDown tapings in Brooklyn this week, which may mean his return to TV.
Got bored of surfing.
Yeah. six solid months of surfing, brother, on board. It's getting a little chilly down there. Well, maybe not in Florida, actually. Is it ever chilly in Florida? Answers on the postcard. He's not wrestled on TV since April. When he lost to Sheamus.
Wow.
6 months this guy's been gone. He has been on a bunch of house shows as recently as last week, but he's not been on TV. It can only be a positive thing. I saw a big graphic of people who haven't been around for ages, and I'm not gonna lie, it was mostly bald wrestlers. Some questions to ask there. Triple H, man who shaved his head. But yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura obviously is not a bald man. He's got lustrous, is that the word? Luscious hair.
Yeah.
Coming back to knee people in the face, presumably.
This is good news. It's been much longer than you think with Shinsuke Nakamura, and it felt like at times at least, the kind of pushes that he's had have been weird and stop-starty and things. But like they kind of nailed how to present him on WWE. Like finally, after like 5 years, it took them a while, but they kind of got there in the end. So hopefully, this is kind of they're just resetting and thinking of what they can do with him going forwards, and they actually have a plan to bring him in. Like the rumors the other day about Baron Corbin kind of just been sat at home. Like so long as these people are sat there waiting for something right to come back to, and then not just bringing them back for the sake of it, and then the push goes nowhere and it ends up falling off again, which is what they used to do a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
So long as they're using this time to reset and have some creative direction for them, I'm all for this.
Baron Corbin could probably be used in the creative writers' room because I've heard he's quite the chef.
Quite the chef.
Help the Booker. What is it the boys call him? Booker and Cooker of the Year? Triple H. Hey, who's your Booker of the Year? Let us know in the comment section below. Billy Corgan.
No. But speaking of people coming back, Powerhouse Hobbs might be coming back to AEW Dynamite as soon as tonight. Apparently this is coming from PW Insider. He has been seen in Salt Lake City, fueling speculation that he could be returning to AEW television on Dynamite, potentially tonight, which is also quite exciting. Getting Hobbsy back on TV is always going to be a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure we did the exact same story last week because he was on local. He was on local radio in the Bay Area ahead of last week's show, talking about we're back. I'm back in my hometown, all this stuff, home area, and obviously that didn't happen. But he injured earlier this year. It felt like the kind of injury that was going to like sideline him for like a year or something like that, but obviously he is healed like an absolute beast, which is great because you don't want anyone to suffer serious injuries. I miss Hobbs. I like Hobbs a lot. I've liked him from the very first moment I set eyes on him. He was a jobber on Dark, and then they quickly realized, oh my god, this guy rocks. Let's do stuff with him. And he's great, man. Like, there's some interesting stuff to do there. Obviously, he was still affiliated with the Callis family. I don't know if they'll break him away from that, or maybe the Callis family's had a bit of a rejuvenation recently. With last week's segment in particular, maybe they'll throw him back in there. I think there's some interesting stuff to do with him. I think he's got great value as a big, imposing, powerful monster of a man. Love Hobbs. Let's get him back.
Hell yeah.
You know what else is hell yeah? This video right here, actually, which you are going to watch next because I'm hypnotizing you right now with my magic spells. I'm the Undertaker. No, actually, hell no. Bye. See you later.